Hey guys, welcome back to the Gloria Living channel. My name is Hannah and today we are going to talk blueberries. It is the newest addition to our garden and I'm hoping that it'll be a new addition to yours after this video. We're going to talk about blueberries, the benefits of having blueberries, and how we are going to grow them. Before we get started, let's be clear, I am no professional with growing blueberries. This is the very beginning for us. But I grew up with an uncle who is a U-pick blueberry farmer. I love blueberries and I love studying this sort of thing. And I want to share with you the information that I've learned so far and show you just what we're doing and giving a shot right now. So let's head into the greenhouse and let me show you our blueberries. Guys, I wish you could feel how good this greenhouse is working. It is so warm in here. Anyways, behind us we have mighty blueberries, very small, very mighty. They're awesome. We're going to show you what we got going on here and let you have a look here. Okay, so we have got our blueberry bushes growing in buckets. If you haven't checked out our video on growing in buckets, please do that. These are just getting started. They actually need a little bit of watering right now. And I'm going to show you what we mixed ours in. We have 4 different kinds of blueberries. We have a Legacy, a Blue Crop, a Blue Ray, and a Blue Jay. And we got those because they're all supposed to be large and sweet blueberries, but they have different times in the season when they're going to ripen. So that should give us blueberries all season long, and that's awesome. And that is a really important thing to know and why different varieties matter. Okay, so let's just get also started with why should you even be growing blueberries? Blueberries are so good for you. They are just a super healthy fruit. You can do so much with them as far as just eating them fresh. They freeze so easily, so you can have them all year round with such little effort. My kids love eating frozen blueberries. My little 2-year-old, she's always asking for frozen berries, and her little tongue and fingers are purple when she eats them, and she loves every second of them. So they're great that way, and you can preserve them and make jellies and desserts, and they're just so healthy for you. And they're just one of those really great fruits to have, and they're great for immunity boosting. So we love blueberries around here, and they're also something that I think is really easy to grow organically. So this is a great fruit, I think, to grow, and something that's a little hardier to grow as well. So that is those are some of the reasons why we are growing blueberries, and I think that they're a good addition to anybody's garden. Okay, so if you decide to grow blueberries, what kind do you grow? You may not even realize that there are different varieties. There are northern varieties, southern varieties, and then under those categories, there are tons and tons of different types of blueberries that you can grow. All with different sizes, all with different tartness, sweetness. Really comes down to personal preference, whatever you like. And if you get onto a good blueberry website, then you can see they'll give you good descriptions of all the different kinds, and you can kind of compare what you want. Additional to just what you prefer, it's good to have different types of varieties, like I mentioned earlier, that will produce blueberries at different times of the season. Some of these produce early, some of them produce in the middle, some of them produce later. That way we can have blueberries all throughout the season, and that's really good. Additionally, having the different varieties is going to help your blueberries pollinate. So it's good to have different varieties of blueberries and not just only the same kind. So once you've picked your varieties of blueberries, the next thing is to order them. I ordered ours or you can go to a store, but I ordered ours offline, and I ordered very young, small ones because they were way cheaper and I wanted more of them. You go to Lowe's, you're gonna pay like $15 a bush. Any type of big box store, that's what you're gonna do. I paid around $3.50, between $3.50 and $4 for each of these. So I was able to buy more of them with the money. And I am growing mine in pots because, as I've mentioned before, currently we're renting. We don't have a place to put these in the ground quite yet. So we have them in pots while they have time to grow and get more mature, and Lord willing, we'll have a place to plant them by the time we need to get them out of here. The website that I used is called Bluegrass Blueberries. They're out of Kentucky. Oh guys, they were wonderful. Their customer service was absolutely amazing. Their shipping was super fast, very affordable. I have so far been super happy. They all came looking great. Now they're starting to drop their leaves, and that's pretty normal. It's been fall, and they had kind of a traumatic time, getting boxed up and coming here. But lots of them still do have their leaves, and they've done great. They've been very healthy, and everything's going well so far. So more to update in the future for them, but they have been a wonderful company. So Bluegrass Blueberries is someone I would definitely recommend checking out. I've really enjoyed them. Where we got ours. Either way, wherever you get yours, if you only want a few, you can go to any store or any local nursery and find blueberry bushes. When you get them home, you're gonna have to figure out whether you want to grow them in pots like I'm doing, which totally works, or whether you're gonna put them in the ground. Either way, you're gonna wanna check your soil. Okay, so when I got these, I was worried about giving them the best soil possible. And so I called up my uncle, who, as I mentioned, has a blueberry farm and thousands of blueberry bushes. And I was asking him what would be the best soil. And his first words were, they need sour soil. And so what that means is they like an acidic soil. Blueberries love water, but they also need to be in a well-drained soil. And so if you want something that's more sour, that's gonna be well-drained, I'm gonna tell you how I did this. So since these are in pots, I'm starting from scratch. I don't have to worry about the soil that I'm working with in the ground. And so what I did in mine was sand, potting soil, and peat moss. I didn't know until recently that peat moss was controversial. I had no idea of that. But either way, that is what I used in mine. So it was a mix of the sand, an organic potting soil, and the peat moss. And that gives it a well-drained, more acidic soil for them to grow in. And then when you fertilize them, if you fertilize them with a good acidic, like holly tone, can be something, I think that's even an organic fertilizer that you can do, that they have an acidic one that's great for growing blueberries in. And so that way you can continue to fertilize them, which is very important when you're growing in buckets and pots, because once they take all that nutrients out of the bucket, there's nowhere else for them to grab it from. It's only in this bucket, so you have to give them more fertilizer. So like I said, making sure you have a really nice acidic soil, somewhere between the acidity of 4.2, 5.2, even up to 5.5. In that range is where you're gonna want your soil acidity. Along the lines of that, these buckets of course have holes in them. I put a coffee filter on the bottom because I didn't want to lose all my soil, and the peat moss is so fine. I didn't want everything to just run out, the sand, the peat moss, everything running out. And that's helped, but it almost holds in the water a little bit too much. They probably could do with bigger holes in the bottom. Just make sure that your pot is going to be well draining and that you keep them watered, but you don't want them to be sitting in water. So it's got to be a really well drained soil. They're going to be happy with that. An important note to make: if you live in an area like I do in East Tennessee, we have tons and tons of clay soil. Okay, that's what our dirt is. It's clay. And if you think that you're going to help your blueberry bushes and you want to loosen up the dirt and you want to add sand, and you have to be warned, do not add sand to clay alone. That will harden it up and almost make like a cement, okay? So if you want to loosen up soil like clay, you need to add compost. Compost is, it feels like that's almost always the answer, doesn't it? But compost is the way to go to loosen up that clay soil. So I just want to give a warning: if you're in an area like me, do not add sand to your clay. It will make it worse and you'll be discouraged. That's why growing in pots sometimes is easier. You get to you're the artist when it comes to the soil, and you make it exactly what you need for your plants. Now, not everybody wants to grow their blueberries in pots, and I understand that. I think it's good to start them in pots anyways while they, get a little bit bigger. That's kind of just my preference. But I also, it's kind of just my only option at this point. But if you're growing them in the ground, and if your plants are just larger than mine are, an older, more mature plant, and you're plopping them into the ground, it's very important to do spacing. This little guy is deceiving right now. He's smaller, he's cute, he's going to be ginormous. The fact is, a mature blueberry plant can get up to even taller than this sometimes, 6 feet tall, even taller. I've seen them way taller, 4 feet wide. I stopped at a U-pick blueberry farm this summer with some friends. I was brought there. It was really fun, really low-key farm. I can tell you what, though, this gentleman planted his rows too close together. And even though he goes down and he's pruning them every year, you're almost going through archways and tunnels of blueberry bushes because they're so huge. So you want to grow them in each row, every row you have, each blueberry plant maybe 4 to 5 feet apart. But your rows need to be about 10 to 12 feet apart. Nobody wants to do that. But you have to. When you go and put a small bush like this in the ground, and then you're doing your rows and you do another 10 feet, you're going to look at it and go, that's way too much. It's not. They are going to get huge. And remember, that's the center. They're going to grow out this way. So when you have your rows, they're both growing towards each other. And you're going to want that room to be able to walk through, to be able to mow through. and just, I mean, to breathe, okay? You're not gonna wanna feel so squished and being hit with, you know, the branches in your face when you're just trying to go pick your blueberries. So really, really space them apart and make sure that that 10 to 12 feet rows, I know it sounds like too much. It's not. It's always a temptation to plant rows of berry bushes closer than you should. And you know, blueberries is one thing. You do raspberries and you're in thorns, you're gonna really regret it. So it's always good, just think this is for the future. Plant your rows further apart than you think you need to. That way they have the space to grow and you have space to pick. Well guys, I think that is a good intro into growing blueberry plants. There is so much more we could talk about with pruning and, you know, the fertilizing and looking at the leaves and all that. But you know what? The best thing is just to know getting a few varieties, giving them an acidic, well-drained soil, and if you're putting them in the ground, giving them that space that they need in order to grow large and produce tons of berries for you and your family. This is just such a great fruit to grow. It's a hardier plant to grow, and it's so good for you. So I hope this is going to be a new addition in your garden like it is in ours, and I hope both of our families are going to enjoy blueberries for years to come. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please like the video. Please share it with your friends and your family. Please subscribe to the channel. It is truly the best thing you can do to help support us here in making this content for you. Until next time, guys, we'll see you soon.